Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Hello and welcome to this unique session, Get Set Goal. Goal setting is a priority in life. Imagine being lost and having no idea of the direction, no compass, no direction. That is how a goalless life is. Or playing football and don't know where the goalpost is. I'm sure the Ronaldos and Mo Salahs will not like what we're talking about. Well, this is a series of course we're doing on goal setting. We'll talk about small to big ideas. And I hope in the journey, as much as I've enjoyed preparing it, you will enjoy learning and implementing it back in your life. I'm your host, Dawood Waid, the mindset coach, and you will be sharing your goals and aspirations as I will be sharing the idea of how do you set your goals in. Well, the idea of a Get Set Goal program is to make sure that you know how to set goals. Imagine not even having goals, not knowing what the goals mean. This is what we'll be doing in the session. It's a part of this unique course, the Youth MBA from Self Help for Youth. And hopefully, as you see yourself in, you will see these are the topics you'll be taking care of. Today, we'll start with the idea of a goal setting. We'll talk about finding your blind spot. Also, what does goal setting mean? How do you do the psychology of goal setting? What is the big picture? And one of the most amazing things that I've shared with and I've prepared on is the areas you must set goals on. It's like hitting the bullseye is what we're going to do. I'll be available on forums, on chats, on emails to answer your queries. But hopefully, I would love to see you set your own goals, achieve them, and we'll celebrate together. So let's welcome all of you to my first module on Get Set Goal, the goal setting program. Well, how do we begin with? Let's begin with a question that I hope all of you can give an answer to. The question is a very, very simple one. What are the tools, what are the things that you require to climb a mountain? Right? So here you are, all geared up to climb a mountain. It's very high altitude. You must make sure that you have all the right ingredients, the tools, because it's going to be cold. The oxygen level will be very less. It will be steep slopes. Tell me, give yourself a break, pause for a while, and tell me what are the things you require to climb this mountain. Well, I'm sure a lot of you would have said things like maybe I require the ropes, the oxygen cylinder, maybe you require the thermal wear, you require your boots, your ropes. You know what? The most important thing you require to climb a mountain is yes, the mountain itself. One of the most amazing person, the most popular person to climb Mount Everest, the first man to do, Sir Edmund Hillary from New Zealand, he said, why did you, when he was asked a question, why do you climb the Everest? He said, because it is there. Well, if there was no Mount Everest, you would not have been climbing it. So yes, the first and the most important thing you require to climb the mountain is the mountain itself. That's what goals are for. Goals are those purpose. Having no purpose is no use. Having no purpose is of no fun. And that is why goal setting workshop becomes very important. In fact, I insist that this goal setting module should be the beginning of Diploma 1, which is the first 6 months course you're doing, and Diploma 2 also. Because by the time you finish the module, you'll go back and recapture all the points you wanted to know about what goal setting is about. Well, go ahead and think of any of your footballer. Lionel Messi in today's time, or Karim Benenza, or Mepe from France, or the popular ones, Ronaldo's and Mo Salah's. You go back and look at the poise, the control, the skill, the talent, the stamina. At the end of the day, they know that they have to take the ball from one end of the post to the other end. And that is what goal setting is about. Goal setting is taking your ball and running through it. And this helps us understand what goals mean. So if somebody were to ask you, what's a goal? Tell them, yes, it is GOAL. It is getting organized about life. I need to maybe make myself a little smaller so it'll be visible for you. Yes, there you are. This is what goal is about. Getting organized about life. Trust me, the moment you have goals, you will be less dependent on alarm clocks on your mobile phones because you will have purpose to get out of bed, to drive the car, to read that book, to finish that course, to do most of the things you are lethargic, procrastinating about, because that's what goals mean to do. And that is the purpose of Youth MBA. As a teenager, as a youth, you need to just get organized about things in life. So find your mountain, find your purpose. As I do this course with you, hopefully I'll be sharing notes and I'll be asking you, imploring you, make sure you write down what your notes are all about. So what's your purpose? It could be anything. And as I take you to the series, you will find a goal, you will find a purpose. You might be lost a little bit now, but don't worry. I'll promise you, I'll make sure your goals are well set. Here are some real beautiful pointers, and we'll keep doing these pointers as we go ahead. Some really wise words. Nurture your mind with great thoughts, for you never go higher than what you think. Let me tell you the quote: what you think, you speak. What you speak, you act. What you act, you become. What you become is your personality. I'll repeat what I said. What you think, you speak. What you speak, you act. What you act, you become, and what you become is your personality. So make sure your thoughts are very positive. Make sure your thoughts are very strong. Trust me, the kind of negative thoughts that we talk to ourselves, trust me, you will never even speak to your best friend. Isn't it? Imagine if I were to come to you and say, oh, I'm not doing good in business, or my relationships are not good, my relationship with my parent or something else is not doing well. What do you tell me? Would you tell me, oh, leave them, divorce, or jump from a cliff? No. But when it comes to self talk, we talk these. So trust me, you are better than who you are. And thinking is what makes us good. I'm a mindset coach. Before even you set goals, it's all starts here. It really starts here, and that's what we're doing. Here is a curious case of this amazing fireflies. These are some amazing insects. I don't know. I wonder how do you work on those. So there is a firefly. They're also called bouncing flies, by the way. What I mean by them is they keep bouncing up, down, up, down. So there was an experiment done. Really surprised how people get paid to do experiments on flies. But anyway, there was an experiment done where they took the bouncing flies on in a glass chamber, a container, a glass jar, and then they put the lid on it, a transparent lid. So now when the flies will jump, they were hitting the glass ceiling and they were getting hurt. So what did the flies do? They started calibrating the jump, measuring the jump, and they started jumping little less than the height of the cover. Now, after a week, the experimenters, or probably a day or two, they don't live too long, they removed the lid. The lid was removed, and yet they found that the fireflies were only jumping limited. That is what happens with a thought. That is what happens with the ideas. When you don't make your thought bigger, you start limiting yourself. Oh, it's the same case with the elephants who are chained as a child calf, and even as they grow big, they have the power to break open, they don't break open. What is holding you back? What is stopping you from setting goals? Perhaps you are a prisoner of your own thoughts. Remove the chamber, remove the prison, remove the bars, come out, explore, don't hesitate, write down, blog, speak up, send a message, but make sure it's all positive. It's not only about positive thought, share your thoughts. I'll give you a beautiful experiment to suggest on. This is a Stanford prison experiment. Google it if you don't understand what I'm talking about. But in Stanford, again, these experiments people are paid to do. A group of college students were called, students your age perhaps, and they were asked to do two things. One group became the prisoners, and another group became the jailers, the policemen. And this was supposed to be a 2 week experiment. And they were just observing how the people will behave. How will the prisoners behave? How will the jailers, the policemen behave? And trust me, just because the jailers were told that you're criminals, they started getting afraid. They started getting aggressive. And the jailers, the policemen, were even more rude, ruthless. They were actually harming each other. The experiment was supposed to be for 2 weeks. They had to close it after 6 days. You are what you think you are. You become who you are. And this is what we are conveying there. One way I read a very interesting story about Musa alayhi salam, someone who was always mentioned in the Quran, and Allah Azza wa Jalla loves speaking about Musa, isn't it? Musa speaks to his own people, the Bani Israel, and he tells the Bani Israel, come, let's go and go to the holy land Al-Quds. So the group that time they're living, they're called Palestinians, right? The Philistines. And this Bani Israel tells Musa alayhi salam, they have seen a miracle. They saw parting of the of the Red Sea. They saw the staff become the snake. Yet they tell Musa, you and your Lord go and fight. Why? Musa said. He said, no, because we are afraid of them. They think of us as grasshoppers. And Musa said two answers. And it's from the Riwayats, the Israeliyats, but it's a very interesting story where Musa said, you did not lose the first time when they called you grasshoppers. You lost the time when you thought of yourself as grasshoppers. Who are you? Who are you? What is your answer? That is what we're talking about. Free your mind. And this is exactly the chapter, one of the most amazing word that I know in English called Exodus. It's nothing but the word in Arabic is hijrah. Exodus is the migration of Musa and Bani Israel, the children of Israel, from Egypt to the Holy Land, Al Quds, to Palestine. And what is your exodus? What is your migration? Where are you going? Ibn Qayyim or Ibn Taymiyyah, his ustad, his teacher, said a very lovely quote. He said, the first hijrah is the hijrah of the mind, not of the land and the place. You know, people don't understand. Your negative thoughts is where you have to move from. Stop away with all these clatter, the noise on Instagram, on Facebook, the advisors, the agony ants. Not true. Free your mind. By the way, there's another very interesting movie that I strongly recommend reading the book called Shawshank Redemption. And this is where he took a hammer in the book and look at the subtle messages they give on the word Exodus. So in my goal setting, I'm saying, let's make the Exodus, let's move ahead, let's free your mind. And this is what goals will do. Goals will set you free. So let's have some goal setting fun. Let's run around. Did you like the graphics? I can fool around with you. I can make it. But this is what goal setting is all about. This is what I mean to say. We learned a lot of things in my first module in terms of goal setting. We said goals are what will set you free. You know, goals are like those small mention you tell yourself. We spoke about two experiments, the Firefly experiment and the Stanford prison experiment. And I hope you make the first leap towards Exodus to a positive place, a place where you're mentally healthy. I will be guiding you in this course on Get Set Goal. Until then, keep sure, keep the faith. We will see you again. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum. Goodbye and good luck.